Hi everyone, I'm Susan Birch, the Health Detective, and welcome back to another episode of My Health Journey with Leigh-Anne Sharland. Today is our fourth episode, and Leigh-Anne is now 3 weeks post-surgery. We have made a couple of attempts to record a podcast in these last 3 weeks, but we've had terrible internet connection and atrocious weather, so we thought we'd put it on hold until we could speak properly. Leigh-Anne, wonderful to see you, and you've got quite a bit to update us on since your surgery.
Yes, yeah. Hi everyone. 3 weeks since surgery, what a blur. I had amazing professionals, overworked professionals helping me while I was in a Melbourne private hospital. And I received so much love and attention from them. It was overwhelming, actually. The amazing news is that after all of the tests and everything, when the surgeon went in to take about 150 grams of my liver off, the pathologist discovered that I did not have cancer. Yay! I don't have cancer, which is wonderful.
The question is, what do you have? That's a $60 million question.
So what the $1 million question is, why do I have a rare growth in my liver, or why did I have? And what has that got to do with my seizures and my exhaustion? So it is now thought that I am more likely to have a uncommon autoimmune condition, which may be treatable, and but all of it needs to take time to find, diagnose, and remedy. So it's a very interesting time. Now I've got to tell you, it's really weird after having everything point to cancer and coming to terms mentally with the idea that you have cancer and you've got a plan and you are going to have it surgically removed, and then that is going to be it, double underline, complete, to then be told you don't have it. So in this roller coaster of uncertainty, I went from thinking that I had my mind all together and that I had this, I understood it, to then not really understanding it. But what the surgeon told me this week is that, yes, it was going to be surgically managed, but you don't want to have a cancer diagnosis hanging over you. So the fact that I don't need to look in my rearview mirror anymore and think, has it come back? Because I didn't have it. So mentally, I need to let go of that acceptance that I had and let go of that diagnosis so that I can move on. And now with the autoimmune possibility, basically they're treating me with steroids. Now, I haven't started raging and I haven't started eating or anything. So I'm not a roid anger person yet, but I am on steroids. And apparently when it comes to autoimmune, that's what they treat you with anyway, even if they don't have, like, it's kind of experimental. So now I'm coming to terms with the exhaustion that I'm feeling and the relationship between painkillers and going to the bathroom. It's an interesting experience. So I again, my hindsight, my rearview mirror is really clear, and I look back and think of all of the things I might have done differently in my life to avoid getting to where I am today. And listening to the lady on this podcast and understanding my nutritional needs and my biological needs, rather than treating my body as an unpaid servant. I'm getting there, exhausted, hopeful, frustrated, delighted, and my little granddaughter just lights me up too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Having Evie is definitely a real blessing in your life. And, you know, I'm trying to understand the roller coaster that you have felt, because you had to come to terms with having cancer. And we talked about that in earlier podcasts, and that was a bit of a roller coaster ride, you know, fear, and then optimism, and then back to fear again, which are perfectly normal responses. And now I suspect there's possibly a little bit of loss. There's a little bit of loss because you now don't have a cancer diagnosis, which at least we understand what a cancer diagnosis is. So, you know, we all know that term and that word, and it's becoming quite familiar for many people in their lives. And now that's been replaced with even more uncertainty for you. So what is this autoimmune condition you're having? You know, how do you feel having experimental drug treatment when they don't really know what you've actually got in the first place? And how is all this impacting not only on your physical health, but your emotional and mental health?
The interesting thing is, one of the days in hospital, probably day 6 or 7, when I was coming to terms with the whole not cancer thing. So I hadn't reached out to the Cancer Council or any of the cancer support groups yet, but I was planning on. And being a sharer of information, and knowing that I get sense of the world from sharing information, and hearing it back, and like I normalize things. So the thought of not joining the community of support that the cancer fundraising and government allocation has, you know, for a moment I actually grieved joining that group of people that are so open-heartedly supportive of each other. And I looked at the fact that my epilepsy is caused by something else. It's not the root cause, it is the symptom of the root cause. So joining, and I don't have the grand mal, or like I don't have the big public seizures. So I have the sleep seizures. So I don't feel like I'm a full card carrying member of the Epilepsy Foundation people. So I actually started Googling support groups for people with rare diagnoses, because we all need support groups. And the interesting thing is, there is a group. Again, I don't think I'm a card carrying member yet, because I don't know what it is that I have. But there is a small group which will have very little funding and very little awareness, and will be fighting for that donation space. And also the and have the most groovy logo of a zebra, because no zebra is the same. Every zebra has a slightly different like print. And so I think it's gorgeous. And the first paint by numbers picture I did was coloured zebras. So and their bottoms. So you know, like, it's like, well, zebra really is possibly my icon animal. But that whole loss of community before I even had it was hard.
I can understand that. Well, I hope you do reach out to the rare diagnosis group, because you'll have a lot to offer them, and there'll be a lot in common where the uncertainty and what actually is wrong with me, why can't they find out what it is? It'd be nice to have people that you can communicate and share and support each other through that, because even though, you know, you've got lots of external support, we still don't really know what that feels like unless we've been through it ourselves.
That is absolutely true. So I am learning every day what it is like to walk a moment in the steps of somebody who's got a disability or somebody who's got a chronic illness, because we don't know. We can imagine, and we can truly from our heart ask if someone's feeling better compared to what? You know, but yeah, but look, at the moment, my memory, like all of the things that I described in the other podcasts, are still relevant, and I have a giant L. Like my superwoman symbol is a giant L under my right rib, which is you know, healing. I was never a bikini model. I will not be a bikini model now.
Well, your body physically has got a lot to cope with as well, you know, so you've got, you know, not only this, you know, the healing that scar, but you've also got to heal the removal of the liver. And, you know, I know you're quite impatient about this stuff. So yeah, taking it one day at a time is important.
Yeah. But I'm hoping to inspire people. So although I don't have a lot to say this time, I'm working on it, and I appreciate the support.
We've got a few other topics we want to talk about in the future. So I know you're feeling a bit tired today, and I really appreciate your efforts to come along and make another attempt at getting this episode out there. I'm sure people will be pleased to hear that you're okay, even if you don't know quite what's going on yet. So thanks for showing up today. We'll get this episode out, and we'll be able to get more back into the swing of things perhaps next week.
Thank you, Susan.